Thank you all for joining us today, and good afternoon. We're really excited to do our very first demo day for TBR Lab. But before we jump in, I want to hand it over to the founders of Tech Beach Retreat, Kirk and Kyle, to say a few words.
Thank you, Eric. All right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. Many of you may be familiar with Kyle and myself as the co-founder of Tech Beach, which really started out as a conference, but always with a vision of being able to attract the global ecosystem to collaborate with the Caribbean towards unlocking the full potential of our digital ecosystem here in this region. We believe very firmly that TBR Lab is a true manifestation of that vision, having been pursuing this for the last 4 or 5 years in terms of bringing all these amazing people together. Last year, we were able to form a partnership with the Inter-American Development Bank through their IDB Lab arm to create what ultimately you are going to see unfolded today. We also partnered with an organization out of Toronto called the DMZ to help the companies that are involved here. And in addition to everything that you're seeing with the lab, we also have a program that we've started for corporates with the vision that we need to be able to engage with all stakeholders in the market in order to drive this massive transformation that we're hoping to achieve. So that program caters to corporates and government. And then we have our startup programs, and Tech Beach continues to deliver various programming in terms of events, etc., as you've come to know us for. I'm going to turn it over to my co-founder, Kyle, who can tell you a bit more about ultimately what we're aiming to achieve here and what we've done over the last 8 weeks since getting started with the program. Kyle?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Kirk. Yeah, so we're super excited to come to this point, and knowing how much hoops that we've had to jump through, knowing where we've come from over the last 5 years, it's been a tremendous story of progress for us, and it kind of feels surreal to come to this point, knowing where we started and seeing how the vision has been unfolding slowly but surely, and understanding where we are as a region. And the gaps that exist, and how we're slowly but surely filling those gaps by bringing the community together through the events that we've done over the last 5 years. Now adding this other piece to it through our accelerator program, whereby we're bringing in people who are really super smart and super well resourced to really give more access and opportunity to the region in this way, in such a more tangible, more sustained way. And then we have a final piece that's coming that we're excited about as well too, that we'll reveal in some time to come. And so over the last 8 weeks, we had the honor of having our director of accelerator programs, who recently joined us this year, Eric Saunier, really lead up the execution of our startup accelerator program. And we're really excited about the work that he's been able to do. I'm proud of the job that he's done, and we've come to a point where now we're 8 weeks in and we're having such amazing feedback coming from these startups, and I'll allow him to really tell you about how his experience of the last 8 weeks has been. All right, Eric.
Awesome. Thanks, Kirk. Thanks, Cal. Again, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Eric Saunier. I'm the Director of Accelerator Programs at TBR Lab. I'm an operator at heart. I've started 2 different tech companies. One of them went through the Y Combinator Accelerator, arguably one of the top accelerators in the world. The second one went through the Capital Factory Accelerator program in Austin, Texas. I say that to say that I understand the importance of accelerator programs. I live in the Caribbean now. I'm in the US Virgin Islands. And I wanted to make sure that there were opportunities in the region for startup founders, so people that are in my shoes now, to be able to participate in. And the reason being is this is really, really hard. If you've ever started a company, if you've ever started a tech company, you understand how difficult this is, especially to do it by yourself. So we want to help startup founders in the region get their companies off the ground. Abraham Maslow, the American psychologist who's best known for Maslow's hierarchy of needs, has a quote that says, "In any given moment, we have two options: to step forward and grow, or step back into safety." And I just want to start by saying I'm extremely proud of all of the founders that you'll hear from today. Each of them has made that decision to step forward into growth. And because of that, I think the region will be in a better place for years to come. So what is TBR Lab? You heard Kirk and Kyle talk a bit about the background. They had their first conference in 2016. I met Kyle and Kirk in October of 2020, and we had a very similar vision for creating a more robust tech ecosystem in the region. And if you fast forward 9 months later, here it is. Today, you have the opportunity to hear from roughly 30 of the region's top startups. And this is a first for the region. Just let that sink in. 2021, and this is the first program of this type, of this size, of this magnitude that's happening in the Caribbean. And we're excited to be a part of it. Here's the footprint. We have companies or startups that are representing Antigua, Bahamas, Barbados, Europe, Guyana, Haiti, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, St. Vincent, Trinidad, the United States, and the US Virgin Islands. It's amazing. When we started to think about this program, we originally thought it would be an in-person program. We were going to cover 4 different islands or countries, but then COVID had different plans for us. So we had to adapt. But one of the benefits of adapting was that we were able to open it up to more companies than we ever would have imagined. So what did the program look like? The past 8 weeks that kicked off on April the 30th, these startup founders have gone through different workshops. For example, UX design by Google. They've gone through office hours with executive in residence. These are people that are experts in their fields that are helping these startups learn and grow. We do weekly surfs, stand-up reports for founders, where you're able to talk about your wins, your challenges, but also get feedback from the cohort. It's a benefit of being in a program with like-minded people who are going through some of the same struggles as you are. We also have leadership roundtables. Now, these are startup founders from the diaspora who have done really amazing things that are lending their time to some of these startup founders so that we can eventually avoid the mistakes that they made. We also have weekly wrap-ups at the end of each week. And today, you all are participating in the culmination of all of these things, which is Demo Day. Just quickly, the team. So you've already heard a bit about my background. I really want to thank Emily, who's been with me from the beginning. Emily, thank you so much for all the hard work that you put in, and sorry for bugging you at all hours to get us through this program. Also want to thank the rest of the Accelerator team. So you heard from Kirk and Kyle. Also want to thank Keisha Walters, who's our program manager. Thank you for keeping us on task and making sure that we don't miss any deadlines. Raquel Allen, our community manager, for making sure all of the people, whether you're internal or external, are informed of what we're doing. Caitlin Sverko, who is with the DMZ program out of Toronto. You've absolutely been a godsend in helping us get through this program. All of our mentors and EIRs, anyone has fielded a question from our founders, anyone who has had a one-on-one meeting with our founders, anyone who has lent their time and energy to help us get to this point, we appreciate you. All of the brands that we've worked with, Google for Startups, AWS, Stripe, HubSpot, Shopify, Microsoft, Freshworks, and any others that I missed, we appreciate your time and your energy and your resources and the perks that you've given to these startup founders. Before we jump in to what you've all come for, just a few housekeeping things. So one, as each one of these startups present, their email addresses will be in the chat. So if you want to reach out to them, you can do that directly. If you don't want to reach out in real time, or if you just missed their email address, you can reach out to either Danielle at techbeach.net, or you can email me directly, Eric at techbeach.net, and I will connect you with the startup founders. And last but not least, I want to thank our founding partners. Kirk and Kyle mentioned this briefly, but we wouldn't have this program without the IDB Lab and the DMZ. IDB Lab has really helped us from a financial standpoint to get this off the ground. And then DMZ provided many, many resources and in-kind services that allowed us to really take these startups from point A to point Z. So thank you for your time. And with that, I'll open it up to Irene Arias-Hoffman, who will say a few words on behalf of the IDB Lab.
Hello everyone, I'm Irene Arias-Hoffman, CEO of IDB Lab, the innovation laboratory of the Inter-American Development Bank. And I want to congratulate TBR Lab for today's demo day, and of course also the founders that have been selected to pitch today. It's part of a partnership that IDB Lab and TBR started a while back, and today is the kickoff of the acceleration program, which is part of the ecosystem building that TBR Lab is doing in the Caribbean. So we're very excited to see the startups that are going to be presenting and that are going to come through the program, and that are going to be solving real problems that the region needs to address, and that need a lot of innovation and can leverage new technologies from fintech to marketplaces to companies that are using AI to solve things like better healthcare or education, etc. So we look forward to seeing all the solutions that we're going to hear about, and we want to again congratulate everyone who's presenting today, and thank you to the TBR team, Kyle and Kirk, and look forward to continuing building a connection also between the Caribbean and the rest of Latin America and Miami, from where I'm talking to you today, and with which we think that we can strengthen a lot the potential for the startup ecosystem in the Caribbean by being one step closer here in Miami. So thanks, and enjoy the rest of the day. Thanks.
Thank you, Irene. And I also want to give DMZ an opportunity to say a few words. So I'll hand it off to Caitlin.
Thank you, Eric. I'm Caitlin from Team DMZ. Thank you for your kind words earlier. It's really been our pleasure, and we are very excited to be working on this with the TBR Lab team. It's been an exciting journey over the course of the last 8 weeks, and it's been absolutely our pleasure to be working with all of the startups. And today's not about us, but it is about the startups, and we are very much looking forward to the presentation for today's demo day. So thank you so much, Eric, and I think we are almost ready to get started.
Yes, we are. Thank you, Caitlin. While we're transitioning to the moment everyone's been waiting for, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the rest of the TBR Lab team. So there's a bunch of people that worked with us behind the scenes that weren't on the slides that I want to thank for getting us to this point. Nick, Aisha, Lanu, everybody. If I missed you, I apologize, but we wouldn't be here without you. So without further ado, we have to run a very tight ship because we have so many presentations. Again, the presentations, we've asked for them to keep to 3 minutes. This is not a full pitch if you've ever seen demo day before, but this is enough for them to give you something that might pique your interest and then be able to reach out. So not everyone is asking for investment dollars. Some people are looking for partnerships. Some people are looking for talent. Some people are looking for introductions. So please, you can just pay attention to whatever the ask is. And if you can help, we encourage you to do so.